Hi, I'm Allie and welcome back to More Than Just an Allergy. In this video, I will be talking about lactose intolerance. Basically, lactose intolerance is where your body doesn't produce enough of the lactase enzyme that breaks down the lactose in dairy products. Lactose is actually a sugar, the sugar that is in milk products. This is actually pretty common. A lot of people have lactose intolerance because as you grow older, your body doesn't produce as much lactase enzyme as you were when you were a baby. Lactose intolerance is very near and dear to my heart because it's actually the first food problem that I ever found out that I had. My whole life, I had belly aches and stomach cramping. I just never knew what it was for. I remember one time going to the doctor and getting an x-ray of my abdomen, and they just said that I had a lot of gas. I found out that I had lactose intolerance when I was in college. I started having some really excruciatingly bad stomach cramping, and I realized that it was on the mornings that I had cereal for breakfast. And so I cut out milk out of my diet and cheese and butter just to see if I really had lactose intolerance, and the stomach cramps went away. And so naively, I thought that I had to just cut out all dairy products from then on. And life became so difficult because I love cheese and I love ice cream. For a few months, I actually was not eating dairy at all. I found out that there were these wonderful things called Lactose Pills, and these saved my life. They basically have the lactase enzyme in them, and it's a supplement. And so you take it with your meal that you're having dairy that contains a lot of lactose, that is. Something to know when you're taking these Lactose Pills is some foods have a lot more lactose in them than others. And so when you take these Lactose Pills, like say if you're having cream cheese has a lot of lactose in it. And so I may take 3 pills of these for cream cheese. I like to lather a lot of cream cheese on my toast. I will have 3 pills. Or if I have a cheesecake, I will need a lot of pills for that too, like maybe 3 or 4 per slice. So on the back of these, they'll say, take 1 caplet with your first bite of dairy food. If necessary, you may need to take 2 caplets at a time. What a laugh. I take like 8 pills of these for ice cream to avoid having symptoms. So it's a lot of trial and error. See how many pills you may need for whatever product you're eating. We all pretty much know the common symptoms of diarrhea, bloating, gas pains, abdomen cramping. They're pretty horrible symptoms, and I have been just knocked out so many days of my life from this intolerance, and it has actually been really difficult to learn how to live with. And so that's why I want to make a video about it, to help other people learn how to live with it too. I still sometimes suffer from lactose symptoms, but very rarely now. Like maybe once a year I might get some really bad cramps, and it'll be either because I didn't take enough Lactose Pills, or I just forgot to take one, or I don't know. Or sometimes I might get them and I won't even know why I'm having it. Let's go over all of the dairy foods that will have very little lactose in them. And so you may not need to have any lactase enzyme supplements at all when you eat them, as long as you don't eat like a ton of them all at once. Butter, heavy cream or heavy whipping cream, buttermilk, cheddar cheese, Parmesan. The reason that there's less lactose in hard cheeses like cheddar or Parmesan or Colby Jack cheese is because these age longer than the softer cheeses. And so as they are aging, the bacteria that is added to the cheese starts to break down that lactose, and so it has more time to break down the lactose in those cheeses as it's sitting on the shelf. Probiotic yogurt. This is because it has live bacteria in it that will break down the lactose in the yogurt. I have tried to have probiotic yogurt, like Greek yogurt without any lactate pills, and I did have a little bit of symptoms, and so I think whenever I do have Greek yogurt, I take like 1 pill and I'm fine just with that. The same goes for kefir. It has live bacteria cultures in it that will break down the lactose for you. Dairy protein powders, if they have whey in them or whey isolate, it shouldn't have a lot of lactose in them. I've never tried kefir, and I do not normally eat dairy protein powders, so I can't vouch for any of those. There are lots of different like crackers, breads, cookies that will have some milk in them, and I have never actually had any problems with lactose in these, and it's because they don't have that much milk in them. So you should be fine with most crackers, breads, or cookies or chips that do have milk in them. Obviously stay away from those if you are allergic to milk, but they shouldn't have a lot of lactose in them, and so you don't need to take a lactase enzyme for those. The dairy products that you need to watch out for and take lactase enzymes in order to eat them are obviously milk, cream cheese, ice cream, sour cream, cottage cheese, soft cheeses, mozzarella. I don't seem to have a problem when I eat mozzarella cheese. Maybe I'm not eating enough to make to have a problem with it. A lot of it is going to be trial and error to know what foods you can tolerate and what foods you don't tolerate. Like for me, it was a big learning curve to know that I need 3 pills to eat cream cheese on my toast, as opposed to 8 pills in order to have some ice cream, a bowl of ice cream. Everybody can tolerate different amounts of lactose in their system. I may be able to tolerate cheddar cheese or mozzarella cheese, but this person over here may get cramps when they have mozzarella cheese. So you need to find out what works for you. It'll take some time to figure that out. You may be able to digest some lactose, but not all of it. And time to give you the skinny on milk products and how they're made. I am a nerd, and so one time I took notes on how milk products are made and like how you get cheese from milk and what's the difference between butter and heavy cream and how all of that is made. But I think it really helped me understand lactose intolerance a lot better. So I'm going to quickly share with you what I found. So you have raw milk from the cow, hasn't been pasteurized at all yet. You let it sit in the can, and after it's been sitting there for an X amount of time, you get all of this fat that rises to the top milk, and then you have the rest of the milk down at the bottom. This fat at the top is called cream, and it actually has no lactose in it because lactose is a sugar, it's not a fat. And all of the cream at the top contains very, very little bits of lactose. But so you get that fat, the cream, and from there, that is where butter and heavy cream is made from. And so butter and heavy cream do not have hardly any lactose in it. You should be able to have a good amount of butter before you start to have problems from the lactose in it. I still have some problems with heavy cream, but I might just need to take 1 lactate pill for it. Okay, so then how is butter made just from that fat? Well, you take the fat or the cream and you churn it around, and that is how you make butter. It's when all of the fat modules just keep bouncing against each other, and eventually they form this big fat wad of butter. And then there's this liquid that is left over, and that is called buttermilk. So you take the butter out, and then you have the buttermilk. So the buttermilk should not have as much lactose in it either, because it's made from the cream, which is fat. So you've got the fat at the top of the milk, and then the rest of the milk. This part of the milk is where all of the lactose is in. So after you take out that fat, you have this milk. And from this part of the milk is where you get your cheeses, your cream cheese, your sour cream, cottage cheese, all of that. You know the nursery song, Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet eating her curds and whey. I looked up what curds and whey are. So when you have milk that sits out for a while and it starts to curdle, that curdled milk separates into the lumps, which is the curds, and the liquid is actually the whey. Okay, I'll stop boring you with all of that technical terms. Like I said, I'm a nerd. Sometimes people grow out of lactose intolerance. They may start having problems in their teens, and then when they hit their 20s or 30s, it goes away. Some people, they start to have problems when they are in their 20s or 30s, and it never goes away. That's kind of something that I don't know if I would be willing to try out to see if I ever grow out of it, because I don't want to have to deal with the symptoms. There you have it, lactose intolerance and ways to handle it in your life and avoid having symptoms. I hope this video was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.